In response to inflation, the Federal Reserve has embarked on a series of hikes to its benchmark interest rate, which raises borrowing costs for consumers and businesses alike. That should slow the economy and slash demand, however, eventually bringing down prices for some goods at least. But rate hikes produced mixed results for rent prices. Economists have said that a slower economy and a potential reduction in consumer spending should put downward pressure on demand, causing prices to fall. But rate hikes also lead to a rise in mortgage rates, which keeps prospective home buyers in the rental market as they await a better home buying opportunity, helping sustain demand and limit price declines. Still, folks, the pace of rising rents should come down over the remainder of this year. Economists have told ABC News that it won't bring any outright decline in rents, but it'll bring some relief in the massive price increase. Awesome news, it's finally going to happen. The lawmakers have just confirmed that many low to middle income households are going to be receiving extra stimulus this year. I'm going to be revealing the details all about this in this video, so keep on watching. Now, lawmakers are preparing to roll out direct payments to help residents and fight the rampant inflation that has strained so many people and household budgets across the nation. The relief going out this month comes after the Commerce Department announced a second consecutive quarter of economic contraction last week. This is what many analysts use as a simple definition for a recession. This is despite pushback from Biden's administration and some economists who want to wait for the National Bureau of Economic Research to officially call off a recession. As U.S. officials debate over the health of the economy, governors are handing out rebates to help alleviate inflation stress. And many of you are wondering whether you'll be receiving an extra stimulus check this month. Well, the state of Delaware has been issuing one-time $300 relief checks to every adult resident who has filed their 2021 tax returns. The state is continuing to roll out the payments over the summer, and joint filers will each receive one payment. No additional action is needed to receive the payment, folks. Lawmakers have told reporters this relief is intended to help people in Delaware facing higher prices at the grocery store and gas pump. Ron DeSantis has also said that about 59,000 low-income families in the state will be eligible to receive a one-time payment of $450 per child. DeSantis told reporters that the new checks will help offset the cost of rising inflation, especially with the new school year approaching. He added that the new one-time payment can be used for anything from buying diapers to fueling at the pump. The checks are part of the Hope Florida program, which is being led by the Florida First Lady. Qualifying families do not need to apply for the benefit, as the payments are being mailed out this year. Since May of this year, Georgia has been sending out one-time rebates to taxpayers who filed their state tax returns for 2020 and 2021. If you reside in Georgia, note that the refund will be based on the filing status of your 2020 tax return.
Very large corporations with a 3-year average financial statement income in excess of $1 billion. But as their bill is currently proposed, and this change occurred basically in the last 24 hours, the bill would now require unrelated companies of any size held by funds or partnerships to combine their otherwise unrelated income to determine if they meet an aggregate $1 billion income threshold, subjecting each respective company to the book minimum tax, even if its own income is far too low. This significant expansion of the tax has the potential to subject thousands of American businesses to the book's minimum taxes, administrative, and financial burdens. The nonpartisan Joint Committee on Taxation said this change would raise $35 billion in taxes on potentially thousands of small and medium-sized businesses, not merely 100 or so large companies, as our Democrat friends would have you believe. My amendment is fully offset by extending for 1 year the cap on the state and local tax deduction enacted in the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and I encourage my colleagues to support this amendment and help ensure that our nation's small and medium-sized businesses aren't hit with a misguided and entirely inappropriate $35 billion tax hike.
So there is an amazing deal for new stimulus checks, everybody, from President Biden, Democrats, and Republicans. Hopefully, everybody, President Biden can step up to the plate and help out the American people with stimulus payments. If you think you can, then tell me in the comments. So we have a lot of good news to cover about the fourth stimulus check. You want to be sure to stay until the end of the video to find out the most important information. You don't want to miss out on this. So as early as June, new stimulus payments will be available in Maine, and over 800,000 Americans stand to receive the benefits. The $1.2 billion supplemental budget proposal by Governor Janet Mills was passed into law on April 20th. And after the bill was passed, the governor said, "What this budget shows once again is through hard work and negotiations that Democrats and Republicans can come together on what is right for the people of Maine." Now, estimates show that about 850,000 residents of Maine will receive checks, with individual taxpayers with an income of up to $100,000 all eligible. Now, that figure becomes $150,000 if you're head of household, or $200,000 if you're filing jointly. Older residents and lower-income homeowners and tenants have also been offered a property tax relief. Additionally, $20 million will be set aside to fund up to 2 years of free community college for students who are eligible and either have or plan to graduate between 2020 and 2023. There is also $3 million in legal funds to help the lobster industry, which is crucial to Maine as they fight the federal government over rules protecting endangered species. What was missing and many had expected to feature was extra funding for legal services for the poorest residents in Maine. Social Security beneficiaries may also see an increase very soon in monthly benefits. Inflation is actually hurting some communities hard as the crisis evolves, and despite more than 170 million payments being sent out in the third round of stimulus checks, the fourth stimulus payment is still being pushed for. The Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan advocacy group, started a pressure campaign to push Congress to send those receiving Social Security additional stimulus money. In a letter to leaders of Congress, the chairman called for one-off payments of $1,400 for people that are seniors. Such a measure could actually help defray the cost associated for some seniors from the 2022 COLA, which was the highest in 40 years. That pushes them into a higher tax bracket. This all in reaction to the high levels of inflation that the American economy is dealing with. Prices across the country are reaching record highs, and for those on a fixed income like Social Security, they're seeing rapid decreases in their purchasing power. The Bureau of Labor Statistics have reported that since October 2020, consumers are paying on average 6.2% more across the market. Prices of food are going up 5.3%, while energy costs are up more than 30%. So this just proves that more federal stimulus money must be approved. And according to a new report, state cuts to crisis unemployment benefits last summer had a small impact on hiring, suggesting that enhancing the funding for the unemployed didn't play a big role in labor shortages. The federal government greatly expanded the social safety net for the jobless in March 2020. It offered hundreds of dollars in additional weekly benefits to individuals and gave aid to millions of people, previously ineligible people. Governors of roughly half the states, most of them Republican, withdrew federal benefits in June or July 2021, a few months before their scheduled expiration nationwide date of September 6th. The debate at the time centered on what was seen as the likelihood that the benefit boost was contributing to employers' hiring challenges. Some officials believed that federal assistance programs kept people from looking for work, and while others argued that factors like the ongoing crisis and family care duties are playing a bigger role in the job crunch. One study in August 2021 found that little impact on jobs and suggested an early withdrawal of benefits might harm the state economies.
Important period of time. Senator Joe Manchin remains an important vote in the Senate, of course. He is saying he wants a package that includes deficit reduction. He's someone who wants a balance